Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great. Don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
I was thinking, like, since yesterday, what should we do? What we're going to talk about? But definitely, one thing stands out this week again is funnel. You know how we worked on the funnel. You built that one amazing, beautiful funnel, and there's so much to know and ask to understand about funnel. And so I feel like today is the day to actually talk about funnel, and you can probably give some examples because you have built this beautiful funnel that it's actually working. It's how the mechanism works, what do you need to do for it. Basically, funnel building is art, definitely. If you do it right, it's going to work. If you don't do it right, it's not. So the art is everyone does it a little bit differently. Art is not, how you say, like, not like everyone has a different taste. You cannot compare. So it's one of those things. I feel like, we definitely learned and got really good at it, and we can actually talk about it and put a few really good points out where people are curious about what is this funnel mean. So one of the most important things you always hear about is funnel building. So we're gonna this is the headline. We're gonna talk about that, and it's Before we start, welcome again. This is number 45 podcast, Develop Your Mindset, and
number 45.
Very, very excited. This is definitely getting up there now with the numbers, how many we did. You can do a little bit of interest talking about the podcast, and then we can start.
So funnel building. I mean, I built a few funnels for the company here ever since I started, and the funnels are pretty good. They're pretty fun. They're pretty fun to plan and to make, but they can get pretty complicated depending on what your business is and what kind of strategy you're looking to build out of the funnel and stuff like that. So I think we're going to be talking about it more into detail later as the podcast goes. But definitely, I'm excited to talk about funnels and how they work and how you can make use of them.
Let's start with the first questions. I have more things to ask you other than the questions that I came up with, but I think this is a good guide for me to kind of know 2 steps to talk to you about. So the most important stuff that people ask about funnel building is what is marketing funnel built for? And what does the word funnel stand for? That's another thing. And then another thing is, when it comes to social media, how can you utilize this, or what other ways you can utilize this? This is something when people don't understand, they just hear this word, it's very vague. So maybe you can...
So a marketing funnel is built to really, market to your customers. So the funnel can be used in many ways. You can use it to, gain exposure, put your company out there. You can use it to gain leads. You can use it to make money. You can use it to get people to sign up to something, or you can use it to give something to the customer for free. The marketing funnel really has lots of uses, and that's what makes it fun. And at the same time, that's what makes it kind of a little bit complicated to develop, because the funnel itself, it requires a lot of thought and a lot of planning ahead of time. I would even say like the most important part of the funnel even starts before you even start building it. It's really on the stage where you're planning what you're gonna do with the funnel and what's your objective, what's your ultimate goal with it. And the word funnel, well, for me, the way it works is that it's pretty much like I like to imagine it as well, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows like what a literal funnel is. It's this circular thing that it pretty much something goes through it all the way to the end. And but like I like to think of it as a journey, a journey for the customer. So it's almost like as though they're going inside. Right. As in this case, it can be like the first exposure when they're taking that first step into becoming aware of your company, and at the end of that funnel is them like purchasing something, or them becoming extreme loyal fans to you and becoming people who will do this word of mouth for you and recommend you to other people at the end of the day. So that's how I see it. That's how I see a funnel. Like a funnel is for the customer. It's really built for them so that they get to go through this nice journey with you, so that they're able to get all the value and they're able to make the most out of the value that you're giving them. Because like even though you as a person creating the funnel, you as the CEO or the manager, or you're the one in charge of delivering the value, you see, the customer isn't yet ready to, take in all the value that you have to offer. So I think the funnel really helps to break down all that value that you have to offer in little segments, like first, you can give them a little bit of value, and then you can give them more and more. And then when they buy from you, you can give them the maximum amount of value. But you see, they can't just get all the value at once, because they really wouldn't appreciate it, and they wouldn't really, know what to do with all that value. So, yeah. And then social media, I mean, I think it really comes down to, you can use social media to integrate. It can be part of your funnel. Like you can use social media to drive into through that journey. So it's like an outlet, that really, it helps like encompass that. So I think it's great, and definitely like you should. I think we might get into more detail later throughout the podcast, but like
for sure,
understand that social media can be very helpful in that manner.
Yeah, one thing stands out when you're explaining is it seems like there's a lot of psychology is built into building funnels. So as what I understand is like, what I understand is like if the person building funnel is or understands from psychology, it's most likely going to be able to build much better funnel when it comes to talking to your potential client or customer, or what you're trying to put out. This is what I'm understanding. So how much of it it's going to affect when you're building a funnel? Is it the technical part, or is it the intellectual part, or how much of it is you're going to use?
Well, they both matter, honestly. Like I personally love psychology, and I'm a big fan of it, and I study it like a lot. And it's definitely helped in the funnel building process. But I think psychology comes more into play when you're doing the planning part. So when you're saying like, okay, the customer is going to do this, and they're going to do this, they're going to feel this way, so they might just want to do this and that. So you can use psychology to predict the next steps of the customer, so that you're able to, give them the appropriate value at the right time. But there's also a technical component to building a funnel, because there's things like design that you have to take into consideration. There's branding. There's a business aspect behind it as well. So you can't just rely on psychology. Even though psychology is part of it, you still need the business aspect of it. You still need to be aware of the data. You still need to be aware of like what kind of software you're going to use, and is the software, the landing page, is it going to be friendly to use, or are you going to, because like there's some psychology that you can use to create the page as well, but you need somebody who can actually create the page, you know, who knows how to use the software appropriately so that, you know, you can bring that psychology into life. And so, yeah, so it definitely is a component, but you definitely need the technical
I see.
aspect of it as well. Yeah.
Wow. I hope you're going to be able to explain the difference between what it takes to build better funnel or one that it actually work, and what are the reasonings behind it.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like there's like more than 4 or 5 things you need to really be good at. You know, like actually good at, meaning study and learn and understand how you're going to deliver. Not only the building part, but there's so many other components for sure. Yeah, wow, that was incredible information, the first part just by itself. So let's go to the next, which is like, how do you start building one, and where do you go?
Funnel. Well, let's see, because like a funnel, I mean, like I said, it's something that you plan out. It's a journey. So it depends. Like, you can create different funnels for different objectives. So I just say, like, you have to think about, like, what's your intention first, you know, because you can create a funnel just using social media. You can create a funnel using things like landing pages and stuff like that. But you need to think, like, what's your objective? Are you trying to get a email list? Are you trying to build an email list? Are you trying to give away a free resource? You're trying to sell something? You're trying to, you know, because some software will allow you to, you know, accept payments, while other softwares won't let you accept payments, and you can only collect emails. And then, so you gotta know, like, what your intention is first. And maybe your entire funnel is just to get somebody to sign up to something on Instagram, maybe. So then in that case, you don't need any software. You can just create a funnel where, you know, you drive somebody from, let's just say, from YouTube, and then from YouTube you send them to Instagram, and then on Instagram, that's where they can, you know, click on something, or, you know, like a picture or comment on something. And that could be a very simple funnel, you know, and it's a journey. You take it from one place and you take them to another. And so, you know, you really gotta plan this out. Like I said, you know, it all comes down to that planning. Like, you gotta really know, like, what your objective is before you even start, you know, messing with the software and start going out there and start, like, spending money on all this software that is useful, but you gotta know why you're using it. So, and the skill sets that you need.
So also skill sets. What kind of skill sets do you need? Also, like, I know that there are a bunch of softwares out there. A lot of the functions of these softwares, they give you for free, that you can actually do some things with them. Do they really actually work? Have you tried them, and did they really work, or you have to actually purchase software to do whatever is necessary to achieve?
Well, like I said, I mean, you got to think about what your intention is, and also you got to consider your image when it comes to spending money. Like, how do you want to come out? Because usually most of the free softwares that I've seen, like, you can create like a free landing page and collect emails for free. The pages themselves, like, they don't give you that many options to create that landing page. So you may have these great ideas to build that page, but, you know, the software may not support that. Your creativity might not be able to do it. And that can get pretty frustrating sometimes, because, you know, you have something in mind, but then, like, the software can't actually do it, you know, like, no matter how hard you try, like, it's just not going to work because you're using free software. So, you really got to think, like, you know, what kind of image you want to put out there and what you want to do. I mean, if you're trying to do something simple as collect emails, you know, something like MailChimp, you know, they provide a free service of creating landing pages and creating funnels and stuff like that. And they create ways for you to collect emails and stuff like that you can integrate into your website as well. That can work just fine if you just want to collect emails and you're not really, like, looking to sell anything, like, through through a landing page. But if you are, then probably MailChimp is not for you. You're going to have to use something like ClickFunnels, which is more advanced. It gives you way more options. You can be far more creative. You can really integrate your brand into that software, because it gives you that offer. Also, like collecting data from your landing pages. Some like MailChimp does not support that unless you pay, of course. And then ClickFunnels, there is no free version. You have to pay to use ClickFunnels. But they're very good. Like, you can integrate the landing page to Google Analytics and really see the data of your entire funnel, which is great. So it really depends.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's a big time advantage to have that kind of tool. Like with Google Analytics, you can go actually like see all the numbers, everything that is happening there. Really, really good. I'm gonna need a second. I need to turn off a non-disturbing thing. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, there's too many notifications coming through. That's too much. All right. So yes, I mean that by of course by analyzing your work and how many people are clicking on it, what is if achieving the purpose, that's really really good to like know. What can you actually present with one of these funnels to show value or sell or ask for people to do? This is one of the things, if you can dive in a little bit deeper here.
Well, in a funnel, you can present them with a bunch of stuff. It can be things, pretty much content. You can present them content. So in whatever form that takes. So things like, you can present them a podcast. You can present them a free resource, a book, an exclusive video or something, or some sort of process or some sort of shortcut, or something that's really easy to consume, or you can present them with a product as well. If you're already like at the bottom of the funnel, you can present them with a very small, short investment. If you're like in the middle of the funnel, you can have them pay like $10 or something, something like that. There's so many ways that you can offer value. You can invite them to a free webinar. You can invite them to a masterclass. You can present them with, a ticket to an exclusive event somewhere. There's just so many ways that you can use the funnel. You can use a free consultation or something. There's just so many, and so, it really comes down to like where you are in the funnel. So, if you're in the top of the funnel, it's probably going to be more like content, a free resource, something like you can give them for free, like go watch this video to learn how to do this one thing like much faster, like go learn how to make more money doing this, or there's this shortcut that's going to get you more views on YouTube, or there's this one thing that's going to help you, I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing. The middle of the funnel might be more like you can present them with like a $7 resource or something. Bottom of the funnel, you can present them something that is more high end, and they'll have to pay you like a course or something, But you can just present so many things. It just depends on your industry.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you can do just about anything, right?
Yeah.
As long like it's an extension of your mind. What you want to talk to your client, or like to put across, like you can build about anything. That's amazing. For people who don't know what you do with funnel, it's amazing to understand what you can actually do with the funnel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So next is, what are some of the requirements for someone to learn or to start making the funnel. As far as building, what is requirement? Have a computer, maybe tablet, maybe, or phone. Can you use those, or any other device that you could use to build a funnel? What are some of the requirements?
It depends on the software that you're using. I honestly would recommend that you use a computer, but always make sure that if you're going to use a computer, always, before you finalize it, make sure you test it on a phone, like to see how it looks on the phone. That's something that I started doing recently. At first, I was kind of ignoring that, and I was looking at it on the computer. I'm like, it looks great, But then when I would sit on the phone, it didn't look so good. Things weren't like in the places that I thought it would be. When I created on the computer. So definitely, like, there's software that offers that, where you can immediately on the computer you can check like how it's gonna look on the phone. But if it doesn't offer that, then finalize it on the computer and then go on your phone and then check it and see how it looks before you put that out there. Because the thing is that I would rather you build the funnel on the computer, because it just makes it so much easier to work with it. As far as like all the things that you're gonna have to type, like adding images, maybe you have to edit a video, maybe you have to build a landing page, maybe you have to upload a file. It just makes it so much easier to have a computer. I mean, can you do it on the phone? Of course you can, but there's gonna just be like really crazy steps that you're gonna have to do, like that are just gonna be a little bit confusing. Yeah, it's just.
But it's possible, right?
It is possible, but there might be some software that might not be possible though, because these software websites that offer the software, they may not be as fully optimized for the phone. So but for the computer, they're all optimized. So pretty much, I would highly recommend you use the computer. It just makes it so much easier. But you always have to consider the customer, because at the end of the day, it's the customer who's going to see your funnel, and that's who you're creating the funnel for. So, make sure that the entire funnel works smoothly on the phone, because the majority of the people will be on their phone when they see this, Because when you build your funnel, most likely the beginning of it or something is going to be somewhere on the phone. Like if you're using social media, most people use social media on their phones. Like it's not like they go on the computer and use. There might be a few, but the majority are using social media on the phone because it's more convenient. And so you want to make sure that your funnel is working smoothly on the phone, and everything works on the phone. If you're having somebody click on something, make sure that it actually works when you're doing a pop-up, or when somebody's going to download something, or when someone's going to click a link, make sure they can actually see the link on the phone and stuff like that. Make sure your links are properly adjusted, make sure everything's optimized. You don't want the website loading slow, things like those, but
you probably want to go test the links first, right? If it's working.
Yeah, totally. You gotta test those. Make sure they're all going to the right places and that everything's smooth, on the phone. Yeah. Because that's really where it matters, on the phone itself.
For sure. Yeah, every time I try to build something, for sure, that's number one. I always check my links. You never know, because, the system is not 100%. Sometimes it leaves one little thing out and it won't work. And you have to always check. Don't trust. That is really good information. Awesome. Yeah. So next is, let's learn about, where do you go to learn about building this funnel? What are some of the places you could go learn for free? That's I asked you kind of earlier, but if you can jump a little bit deeper, maybe give some software names, or spend money to get it going. Get a knowledge or understanding, or that's what I mean is, like, if you need to get a course, or So what does it take to build one?
Yes. Yeah, so for knowledge, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say that I definitely learned about funnel building a whole lot more with paid programs than I did with the free content that's out there on YouTube. Because the paid content is so much more, because you're paying for it. Usually the people teaching that, they organize everything really nicely and they go into detail far more. And so, I would personally really encourage all the viewers, if you can spend the money to go and buy a course that's going to teach you how to build funnels, I would highly recommend you do that, because it's definitely a very good investment. Like, once you understand how the funnels build, you can make that money back. Like, if you understand how the funnel works. But certainly, is there videos on YouTube that can teach you this, and websites and blogs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Of course there is. There's definitely like a lot out there that you can go ahead and look at. But
for sure, the thing you're saying is, like, one thing I realize is or learned is, like, sometimes it's so scattered. Sometimes it takes you a week to find another a video or something that has a relativity, some kind of, like,
Yes, you're right. And I was actually going to say that. Yeah, when you're actually like going after free content, it's all scattered, and you kind of have to do the work yourself to put it all together and for it to make sense for you. So that's why I would highly encourage you to, already start off on the right path by just buying a course. And just right now, I really don't even look at free content as much anymore, just because it's so scattered, and one person says this and the other person says that, and it's very random, so now I really just try to go after a course. Like, if there's a course, I would highly recommend just going for the course. It's easier, it's faster, you're going to save a lot of time instead of having to go and look for the information yourself and trying to figure it out. You get a course, you pay, and then you have all the steps laid out for you, from the first step to the last step, and you know exactly what you got to do, So, and
for sure.
What else was there? Well, the places, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to recommend the same company for the knowledge part. I would recommend the same company that I've always recommended, which is Digital Marketer. They even have a certification course on specifically funnel building. So, which is the one that really taught me actually how to build funnels. That's the first time I actually understood how a funnel actually works, in the simplest form. Because here's the thing, funnels can get very complicated, so you want to learn how a funnel works at a basic level, fundamentally, how it works. If you don't understand how a funnel works, if you can explain it to someone very easily and it's simple, then I don't think you understand it yet. So understand it in simple terms first, and then you can expand on that and make it more complicated as you get more experience with building funnels. But at first, just try to get the basics of what a funnel is. So Digital Marketer for sure. And software, I would say use Lead Pages, which is what we use here at the company to build landing pages and to build different pages that you want to create depending on what is it that you want to do. And or ClickFunnels too, which is a very popular one. But I would recommend using ClickFunnels to sell stuff, because ClickFunnels is built more for people who already have a very good product, and a product that will sell, which is why the software is more expensive, because you're pretty much guaranteed to make some of that money back if you build that funnel correctly and you have the right product to sell to the customer.
Yeah, definitely. This kind of work, it takes a little bit of back and forth, trying, learning again and again what you're not doing correct, going back and then to learn a little more. It's it has something where if you do it right, it's going to work. But the right is one thing, if you're doing all these other things, it's not going to work. So definitely someone has no idea. They have to be ready for a lot of that journey going through
Yes, for sure.
to actually like make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next one is also, what is the headline? Is for funnels should have keywords, and if you do the right, I hear that it will work. So basically, the question is, does the funnel need to have keywords or headlines? This is something that we hear it a lot, but how does it work? And the other thing is like, achieve what is attend for. Does it work? Yeah, and so how do you go about building this information inserting into the building the funnel?
Yeah, so building keywords around it and a good headline. So there's this funnel called the Evergreen Funnel. I don't know if anybody has heard of the Evergreen Funnel, but an Evergreen Funnel is a funnel that you can pretty much turn on and leave it on for, pretty much forever. It's evergreen. That's really what the word means. That means that you're recycling this funnel and you're using it over and over again. So, if you're creating a funnel like that that's going to be out there for a very long time, then yes, definitely insert some keywords, because definitely, it's going to help that funnel itself, rank a little bit higher, and whatever it is, whatever keywords you're aiming for on Google, it's definitely going to help out that funnel, get some organic traffic as well, because there are also these funnels that are temporary, like let's just say you're making like a sale, like you got this sale going on and you want to create a funnel for this product that, normally costs, I don't know, $500, and now you're lowering it to $99, I just say, but you don't want this offer to go forever, obviously, you're just doing it for, to gain new customers and stuff, so maybe it's like a five-day offer, so then you just create this funnel for 5 days. In that case, you don't really need to worry about the keywords, because that funnel is you're gonna turn it off anyway in 5 days, so that's not enough time for Google to pick it up and to rank it, so it's kind of a waste of your time. But if that funnel is gonna be up there turned on for, let's just say, an evergreen funnel could be like, maybe the most common one I've heard is like a webinar. People have like this webinars like every single week. There's a webinar, and they try to sell like their course in that webinar. And they pretty much, some of them already have this webinar pre-recorded. So they can pretty much just run ads on this webinar and say like, oh, we got this new webinar coming up, this week. And then the next week they do it again. Oh, we got this new webinar coming up, Maybe they change like the front end of the funnel, which is like, maybe like the ad that you see is different, but it's the same website, same webinar, the webinar that's everybody's seen, and they're just using it over and over again, and they're just making money from that funnel. So that's an evergreen funnel. So definitely when you're doing that, definitely use the keywords. But if not, then
so hold on. Evergreen funnel is basically it's live, but you can go in and change content. And it's always live in the background, the actual funnel itself. That's what's going on?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you can have something like, let's just say, like, I want to sell my course, right? I want to sell a course of, like, I don't know, funnel building, let's just say. I want to sell my course of how to build funnels. And, like, but I don't want to be, like, creating new ads all the time and having to, like, create a new landing page all the time. So I create this funnel that looks really nice, and it's, it just looks great. And then, and then I program everything so that, people sign up to that. I build a page where people sign up for the webinar. And then when they sign up, I program some program to send that person notifications when the webinar is going to happen. And then I build this website where I host that webinar, and I let that webinar play by itself. And pretty much, yeah, That's it. And then I just repeat that over and over again. And, people buy your course and you just get the money and you don't have to do anything because it's all automated. Like everything's working on its own. Like you don't have to go in there and touch anything. And you can use the same ad to do that. You can use an ad where you're like on Instagram, you can be like, hey, I got this course about, or like, come see my free webinar where I'm going to teach you how to take your funnel from 5 figures to 6 figures. It's completely for free. All you got to do is sign up here and, whatever. And then they sign up but everything's automated and you can just let that funnel run forever pretty much because there's really no investment on your part besides just showing that ad to people. And then people just go sign up, and then the webinar, you don't have to even do it live. You can just have the pre-recorded webinar where you just do the webinar, you record it once, and then you say at the end, or if you want to learn more, get my course, because you're in this whatever webinar, you're getting a special discount, that nobody else will get. Sign up, but you have to sign up right now, before the timer ends or something. It can get really fun,
There's so much to know about this funnel building. Next is, it's 2 parts question, but the second part should be the front part. But I'm gonna ask you, what is this funnel substitute for? What I'm trying to say is, traditionally, what did people do before funnel building? So what is this funnel substituting for? Basically, you understand, right? Like the companies, what traditionally how did they sell? How did they went to their clients, customers?
From what I know, people used to use their own website instead of using a funnel. Like they would pretty much just drive traffic to their website and that would be it. Like like you would put something on social media and be like, go see my website, and there wouldn't be like a journey. There would be kind of like like the first thing you were exposed to was like, all right, buy my stuff, like, and like that model, I guess it worked if you were branded, if people knew who you were, if there was like some sort of like, stuff like that. And, but you always had to, from what I heard, if it was like an actual product, like you actually had to create that product, and then like you had to create like massive amounts of it. And then you had to just kind of pray that people would buy your product and that they would be interested, because you couldn't build a funnel to see if, people were even interested in your product to begin with. So you kind of just had to create the product and waste that money at first, and then, hope for the best, that people actually like it or not. And so...
Wow, that's a really good way of explaining this.
But now you can build a funnel and you can build anticipation before you even build the product, So now you can just build a funnel and show people and people look interested. Then you create the product because, I think people are interested. So you create it and you do spend the money, but, there's a higher chance now that people will actually buy it. You'll get your money back and possibly even like profit from that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good information. That draws a picture in my mind, like how and what people used to do before and what you could do now today. This is amazing. How do they say it? Like point 1, point 2 software. How's that go? You know what I mean? Like the second version.
Software update.
It's so amazing. Like how what has changed. I can only imagine what's coming next, right? So this is a big upgrade from how business was operated before. But then again, this has a lot to do with psychology, where you actually like going someone's mind and showing, like making them learn who you are and this is what I'm getting from you, and this is very It's very deep. You know, you have to understand this so you can do it good and better than what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, definitely. I would say courses that you were telling us earlier. Courses are going to definitely help you out to do better work. Yeah, for sure. Next is like explain the way this works. How many levels are there, and what does each level do, basically? And there's this something that I was doing a bunch of research to, so I can ask you better questions. So I came across this. It's also known tofu, mofu, and bufu. Like if you can, like this words are thrown around. What do they mean? What are they saying?
Yeah, so it's pretty much like the top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and middle of the funnel. Top, middle, and bottom. So yeah. I mean, we spoke about this in the previous podcast, but I'll explain what they are once again. So the top of the funnel is where you build awareness. You know, you build awareness of your brand. So this is where, you know, people are getting exposed to your brand for the first time. So, you know, this is like you're welcoming them. You know, you're introducing yourself to the customer. You're telling them, hey, you know, this is who we are. This is what we do. You know, check us out. We got a YouTube channel. We got this content. We got this content. And it's pretty much just free content, you know. So whether that comes in like videos, podcast, audio podcast, you can have video and audio. You can have books. You can have so many things. You can create things on social media, like little nice infographics, they call them, which is like these graphical things where, you know, they look pretty, like not nicely designed, but they're very filled with content that's educational for you and that's value packed. You know, stuff like that. So you're pretty much just introducing yourself. You're not really trying to take anything from the customer. So, you know, this is the top of the funnel. Then you have like the middle of the funnel where people already know who you are, and they might be ready to take a further step with you. You know, so you know, in this case, you can actually, you know, take it a step further. And you can also, you know, bring in a little bit more content, but it could be a little bit more exclusive content where they're required to invest a little bit into you. So maybe you can offer a book once again, but maybe this time they have to actually put in an email address to get that book, or maybe it's a podcast episode that you did, but that podcast episode is so exclusive and it has like really valuable information.
Yeah.
So you tell them like, hey, you know, you can get this podcast completely for free. I just need your email here. Or it can be like some infographic, like I said, but maybe it has like so much value. It's got like maybe a template or something, like use this template to, you know, make your ads, you know, perform a whole lot better. So, or maybe it's like a headline template that teaches you how to make better headlines. And so maybe this template costs like $7 or something. And so you can have them, you know, buy something that's really small, not too big of an investment, but, you know, this is like the next step. And then the bottom of the funnel is usually where you start to sell like the high-end stuff. And that's really where, you know, things start to get more, people already know you, they've interacted with you, they might have invested already a little bit of themselves into you. And so then now they're ready to make a big commitment to you, take a big step towards investing with you. So, you know, this is really the bottom of the funnel. This is where you will normally sell your more higher-end stuff, you know. And of course, you know, you, depending on what product, what ultimate product you want to sell at the bottom of the funnel, this funnel can take a lot longer, you know, for them to get to the bottom, because, you know, getting them from not knowing you to them buying something that's at the bottom of the funnel, maybe it's like $100. It's not the same as opposed to you're trying to sell them something that's $1,000 or maybe $20,000, you know, like it's going to take much longer to get a customer to go from not knowing you to buying something from you that's $20,000. Like that's a whole lot bigger investment. So you might have to do more top of the funnel content for them, more middle of the funnel, and then maybe you might have to extend this funnel a whole lot longer, you know, because it's a big investment at the end of the day, you know, making $20,000. But Yeah, that's pretty much basically how that funnel works.
So, what I understand from what you're saying is like, my question's gonna be, where do you actually, when it comes to marketing, where do you actually spend your money most when you have a funnel? Do you spend your money on top of the funnel or the bottom of the funnel to do marketing, like commercials or like to let people know?
Um, I mean, it's really up to you, but I mean, most people recommend that you spend the money at the bottom of the funnel since you're actually selling something, so you can make the money back from like, the money that you're spending on running ads. But you can also spend money like at the top of the funnel, even though you're offering them free value.
Right.
This could be a very good investment, but it's not going to pay off until like later on. But it's definitely, I would say, it's very worth it if you can afford it. By all means, go for it. If you can, obviously, don't let that stop you. Still go out there and create content and try to get organic traffic. But once you can invest, go and invest, and you don't have to invest too much, but invest some money, on the top of the funnel and try to get your free content out there. Let people see that, who you are and stuff like that. But of course, when it comes to like paying and running ads, as we said, like in the first of this whole marketing series of podcasts, you really want to focus on your targeting, because that's really what's going to matter. If your targeting is really good, you probably don't have to worry about the money that you're spending, because most likely it'll come back to you because your targeting is on point. But if your targeting is off, then you might be losing money at that point. And I think it's just part of the process. Like, don't be afraid of that. I think at first you might start losing some money because, targeting is something that you just have to practice, day in and day out until finally you're able to find, the right audience. And then from there on, you can start, making money. But definitely, like, that's what I would say about like spending money and stuff. Yeah,
like 2 podcasts ago, you said something important, which is it's right on the point. Just do it. Like, if you don't do it, you're not gonna learn. So you just have to go for it, right? We definitely had our own share of learning curve. That was, sometimes it's not easy to spend all the time, effort, money, and nothing happens. But you're gonna try different next time. You're not gonna do the same thing because you already know that whatever you created, nothing comes out of that. So I think it's if you have a business mind and you don't have your practicing your ego, it's you eventually you're gonna hit that whatever it's gonna work for that product and for your style, for your company, for sure. Next is I like to understand a little more about funnel. What do you actually sell in the funnel? We all kind of talked about this. If this is something we can pass, if this something is going to be a little bit some kind of questions. Do you sell it on the funnel, or you ask people to take other action? I saw this when I was doing research. I saw this thing where there was articles about this, and I thought I'd like to ask you this. I don't know if you have a little more to elaborate on this. You can.
Yeah. So what do you actually sell? Yeah. So definitely, when you're building a funnel, you always want to focus it on one thing and for one customer. So, because if not, you're going to confuse people when they see it. Like, I personally don't like to have more than one course of action. Yeah. So when the person hits your funnel, the objective should be clear to the customer. Like, this is what I want. Like, this is what I want you to do. It shouldn't. The customer shouldn't see like your ad or you see your landing page and be like, what am I supposed to do? What am I doing here? Like, why is there like a button to go here and then there's a button to do this other thing? Like, try to minimize. I would say minimize all the options and just give them one option. Look, if you're trying to sell more than one product, that's fine. But in that case, create separate funnels for those products. Do not use the same funnel to sell two things. Like, even if they're somewhat similar, do not try to sell both products in one funnel. I mean,
Okay.
and this is from like experience, and this is also from like just looking at other funnels that I've because I like to personally, get myself into funnels sometimes on purpose, just to see like, what are other people doing and stuff. So, and I've never really seen anybody like do that, like put out like you can get this in the same funnel. Like they'll try to get you to get this one thing and then get this one thing, and then like it's like not on the same page at least,
Okay.
Now, of course, we can get into more complicated stuff, such as like upsells and downsells, and where you can add bonus offers after the person like has decided to invest in you. Maybe they make a small investment of like $7, and then you can like. Then after they've done that, then maybe then you can be like, okay, you've done that. Okay, we have this other thing, that it's a higher end course or something. It's usually $200, but since you're in this funnel here, we'll give it to you for like $99 or something. You can do that, but as you realize, it's in a separate page. They never put these two in the same spot, together. They never let you see like, oh, we're offering the $7 thing, we're offering this $99 thing. Like, don't do that. Like, make sure there's there's focus. You want to get your customer focused on just one thing.
So it sounds like you can actually run multiple funnels.
Yeah, totally. If you have more than one offer, or you have more than one product, definitely, but create different funnels, and also like for different like customers. So, maybe you're selling the same product, but maybe you can market it two different ways. So then you create two different funnels. Maybe one funnel is for like younger people, one is for older people. Maybe one funnel is for women, maybe the other funnel is for men, and stuff like that. And so,
Wow.
And this is when you get into like more like A and B testing and stuff, like where you can use the same exact funnel, but maybe do a few changes here and there. That this funnel goes out to these people, and then this funnel goes to these other people, and so
Wow.
like that. But
Targeted marketing.
that's like it's called like split testing funnels.
Awesome. I love those terms. How it's like precise.
Yeah.
Amazing. So next, I would like to ask: is it important to learn to make funnel, or only understanding is enough? The reason I put this here because a lot of people have this mindset where they always talk about like, I'm a business person, I can hire someone, let them do it, I don't need to know about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my approach to this is completely different. My approach is like, I need to understand everything, all the mechanism, and then have someone help me to do it, or hire someone that I can actually, like ask them what to do and look over what they're doing, right? So that's why I put this question there. Is it important to learn how to make funnel, or just understanding is enough, or have someone else do it for you?
I think it depends on the like if you're the CEO, you're the one in charge here. That decision really comes down to like if you're gonna hire somebody else, does that someone else, have they worked in have they created funnels like in your industry? Like, let's say you're in the I don't know, for example, they just say you're in the computer business, right? And you're selling computers, and you're trying to hire someone to build a funnel to sell you this one computer that's like really cool, and you want people to buy that computer. You're gonna put it on sale or something. You gotta make sure that the person who's gonna do your funnel, like if they have done computer funnels before, where they've actually done this before, then I think it's okay that you don't really have to know about it because they have the experience already. You can just kind of describe to them what's the offer and everything, and just understanding how a funnel works might just be enough because the other person already has experience within that industry. But I would say if the other person does not have any experience building a funnel in that specific industry, then I think it's going to be extremely helpful that you learn how to actually, that you know how to do it and that you understand it, because you can guide the person doing it a whole lot better, because they themselves, well, like they might understand funnels, but it's like I said, it's so different for every industry. Like there's so many things you can do. You can collect phone numbers, you can collect consultations, you can collect, you can give out coupons, you can do so many things. And so it really comes down to like knowing like what do you want to do. So it's extremely important that both of you know what you're gonna do.
Definitely. Just recently, for sure, definitely I learned that if you do really right content research, also keyword research, it will definitely help you to build better funnel or better content in that matter, so you can target that specific customer group, right? So it's what I learned was like right before you start something, making a video or content, any kind of content, it's a good idea to actually like do a lot of research beforehand, and knowing what you're actually like, who you're trying to sell or to make this video for. And this is very important, like you said, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much. And next, let's go to next, which is what are some of the most important requirements to learn so you can build a better and good-looking, attractive, and clickable funnel? Requirements that you can achieve that kind of funnel.
Yeah. So I think one of the most important ones can be to really check out other funnels within that industry. So, look at those, like how how are other companies within your industry doing their funnels, and then you can draw inspiration from that. Because believe me, like unless you're like a person who's very creative visually, who can take like an idea or something and turn it into something like that, then maybe you can just do it from like scratch. All you really need is like some data. But I mean, I for the most part, that's not me, and I know that for a fact. Like that's just not me. Like I'm not the type of person who can do that. Just because this isn't really my department. Even though I like it, I recognize that just doesn't come natural to me. So I gotta do other things. So I gotta go and actually go check out other people's funnels and see how they're doing it, and then I can draw inspiration from that, and I can create my own, and that works perfectly fine for me. And so you just gotta find what works better for you. And so some people like to go and read books about it. Some people like to, read blogs about it. But I think the best way to do it is to really go and look at actual funnels and see how they're actually built.
Right.
And also, I think it really matters that you understand the software too, because the software itself can offer you so many things. But if you don't know how to use the software, then you're gonna think that you're limited, and you're just not going to feel as comfortable. And really, when it comes to funnel building, you want to be relaxed, you want to be comfortable, you want to be just relaxed, and you want to be in that creative space where you just create.
Right.
And if you're letting this software get in your head, and then you start getting frustrated because you can't use the software, you're trying to do this and that, it just ruins the whole flow of your creativity. So definitely get familiar with the software and learn really how to use it.
All right, so let's go to the next question, which is like, I think,
I actually wanted to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
So the last requirement to make it look better and attractive is to just practice and do it. You got to really do it consistently and do it over and over again, because even if you have all the knowledge, you have the inspiration, you know how to use the software, at the end of the day, you're just going to have to just do funnels over and over again. And, that's something that I've done, and it can get frustrating at first. Yes, it's crazy, man. But, eventually, you start to get the hang of it. You start to get familiar with the software more. You start getting more familiar with your mistakes, that you go wrong. And so, eventually you start just making one small improvement. Every time you make a funnel, you make one small improvement, one small change. And eventually the day will come where, you've made all the right changes and there's like zero, almost like no mistakes at all. And you've created the perfect funnel, and then it's all going to pay off at the end. So yeah.
For sure. I was taught this morning. I was talking to my brother, and he wants to learn, about social media a little bit, and understand. And he was asking me all these questions. I said, listen, you need to stop watching these motivational videos. You need to stop watching news. You need to stop everything until end of the year, right? Like, so you can actually like doing one time is not enough. You gotta do many times of this course, the lesson, and also try, like you're saying, until you actually hit something that is, it's for you. It's working.
Yeah,
you understand how to build this thing, right? So, it's whoever's interested. Basically, you have to be ready to let go whatever is your hobby, whatever you like to do. You need to be ready to let go of those things and then start studying and building funnels, and until you come to somewhere really good that it works.
Yeah, for sure.
So next is, what kind of companies are using funnel system? So, and if a company don't use it, are they as good as company that are these other companies using it?
So, I would say yes and no. You see, like, there's people like, there's companies like Amazon and Apple and Microsoft, they don't really use funnels at all, because those are like big companies that people already know, and they have like really like a large, amount of products. And so, these companies don't really need it, even though they do use funnels here and there. They're very small ones though, like they may show you an ad on Instagram or something that they got, like Apple might show you like they got the new iPhone, and so the funnel might just be from an ad on YouTube, and then they might just take you straight to the Apple page, and that's it. That's where it ends. But definitely, I think you should use a funnel if you intend to get customers online. Definitely, like if you're trying to get a customer online, which, if you're in business, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get customers online. A lot of people are already online, so you might as well take advantage of it. It's definitely gonna and you can build a funnel for pretty much any business, but it does require a lot of thinking and creativity to find out what that funnel could look like, because a lot of people think like, we have this funnel and we're in this industry and maybe it doesn't apply to us, but if you give it some thought, if you really sit down and you think about it, sometimes it can take you a couple days, to come up with a good funnel, and that's okay. Maybe you need to sit with a bunch of people, you need to have like this board of directors type of deal, and sit with everybody and have everybody share their ideas, because a funnel, you can really use a funnel to get emails, and then from those emails you can have them, download something, or you can have them show up somewhere. You can give them a coupon, you can give them a membership, you can give them so many things, man. Like it's just crazy. And so you can really use that you can even use funnels just to build awareness. If you don't want to sell, if you cannot sell anything online, you can use it for awareness. You can use.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that you can use the funnels to really get your brand out there, but there's always a purpose for a funnel, and you just got to figure it out. Like what kind of purpose can you use the funnel for? Yeah.
So in the beginning, whatever you were explaining it, you got my head going, my mind. So basically, I remember 2011 when Steve Jobs was launching the iPhone. I remember 3-4 months they were just talking about it. This new phone was coming out and everything like that. Like as far as goes, at that time they were utilizing the media, utilizing the news papers and like all kinds of magazines, all kinds of everything. I would think those days that was the funnel. That was where they were selling the idea. They weren't selling the actual product, or not even telling you where to go and buy it, right? And eventually they were able to like bring people down to buying the actual product, putting it out there. So, I mean, it takes a lot of work to put a product out and actually make it successful, make everyone want to buy that product. So I would think that was what they did at that time. Now it's a lot easier for anybody like sitting home and trying to put some kind of product out, and then all this click funnel that you mentioned, all these places, it's so like easy to go and like to build one for yourself. And that's what what are you talking? That's what my mind is.
Yeah, so that's like a big event like launch type of marketing. Now there's this thing called a hybrid funnel as well, that pretty much combines the marketing used in main events, main like big launches of products, and the marketing of an evergreen funnel. Like I've said, like I spoke previously, you put these together and you create like a hybrid funnel, which you can use a funnel where you can build anticipation for that funnel, and also use like the evergreen type of the same type of the functionality of an evergreen funnel. So it's really cool how that one works, because it's hybrid. It's using a little bit of like the anticipation that's used for big launches of products. So you get people start talking about it. So you get people here or there. And then when it does launch, you can have that product, be out there for a very long time. And so it just gives that evergreen funnel that extra strength, instead of just putting out that evergreen funnel like as like an ad or something, that goes on Instagram or Facebook. So pretty cool stuff out there.
Awesome. Yeah. Man, there's so much. I guess when someone actually get with their hands into this, they're gonna start learning new words, new way of doing things. So my next question is gonna be short for you, but if you can explain this, because I feel like there's a difference between B2B and B2C marketing as far as building the funnel. So if you could kind of like elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, first of all, I think like the overall like psychology and design of it should be the same, because at the end of the day, like, behind the business there's people. And so, whether it's a customer or it's a business, there's always going to be human beings on the other side of that funnel who are going to be looking at it. However, I think with the business to business model, you can probably be a little bit more generous when it comes to that, and possibly, give even extra value. Just because, working with a business as opposed to a customer is a little bit different. When you're working with a business, you can definitely look to create a very long-lasting relationship between you and that other business.
Yes.
So you might be a little bit more generous to give that other business, a little bit more value, as opposed to the customer who, the customer, of course, they matter as well, but customers are not really guaranteed, that they're going to stick around, since they have so many options to go to. And so they may be buying like once in a while while a business may be, they may be interested in buying from you like consistently. If whatever it is that you're selling, they might want like the same product, like a few of them, like every month or something, or something like that. And so, it's more of a consistent type of income that's coming in. So you might want to be a little bit more, I guess, on the value aspect, you might be a little bit more, like I said, more generous, just because even though you may lose a little bit at first, it might pay off more in the long run, because, you might keep this relationship going with this other business. But other than that, I don't really see any big differences. You still got to put out the value. You still got to target the right business. you still got to make it friendly because, like I said, at the end of the day, there's a human being on the other side, so you can't just create like a not so good looking funnel for the business just because it's a business and you think like, oh, that I was gonna like whatever, I was gonna do whatever with the funnel and just because they're just a business, they're not a customer,
Yeah.
They're like they should.
So
Yeah.
So the content kind of, I think that content is gonna change just a little bit because most likely the business is gonna keep on buying
Sure.
from you, but also the
Sure.
consumer. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, you're right. But yeah, it comes down to the audience. Like that's pretty much that too. Like depending who you're targeting, like you also got to look at that business and see like what that business stands for, and like who that business is.
Right.
And actually, it might be a little bit easier to target a business rather than a customer, just because customers can be a little bit too random. But a business, they might have a website, they might have content already created, they might have so many things, so you can already like they've kind of done the work for you. You can just pretty much go into
That's right.
their social medias and just kind of like do your research, and then you can create a funnel like that's aligned with their values. And
For sure.
when they see your
The daily
funnel,
sale.
yeah, they won't even like think about it twice. They'll be like, yeah, this sounds like this is the right thing for us. Let's do it.
Right. When it comes to customers, where they're gonna purchase something from you, they're ready to criticize you immediately.
Yeah.
Say no before say yes. It's always no. So
Yeah.
it's very different like that. That's a really good information right there. What is the most important purpose to create? What are some of the things you can actually boost your company sales by learning funnel? Like what are the things that it can help you to basically boost your sales? This funnel building. What are the most important?
Well, first of all, there's that focus on that one product. Like I said, instead of like traditionally, you would create an ad and then you would just sort of like just send your customers to your website and like hope they would buy something from there. You would try to put maybe your best product on the first page or something like that, or your best products, or so something along those lines, and hope that they buy it like that.
Mm-hmm.
With a funnel system, you can make an entire page just build around that product, and so the person's more clear as to what they're supposed to buy, as opposed to when they go to the website and they see all these things, and then they might have so many options, and then they're kind of confused, and then they're like, oh, I have 5, 6, 7 things that I can buy here. I don't know, and people start getting confused, they start doubting themselves, and at the end they might just click off the webpage because there's just so many to offer, so many offers.
Yeah.
As opposed to a funnel where it's more centered and focused on just one product. So the customer might be able to focus on it more, and then you can build a whole page around it, which is you can give them a lot of information on just that one product instead of your website where maybe you have just a little small description of what your product is and that's all your products. This one is more like that. And also, you have that ability with a funnel to upsell people,
Right.
Maybe you sell something small on the front end, and then you tell them, oh, you want to add this on as well. It's only like $30 more or something, or $50 more. Add it now. Just click on this, and automatically, charge your whatever.
You already put your credit card.
Yeah. Or like it makes it like very easy, to. Or if they don't want to buy like the $50 thing, then you can downsell, which is like you go down and then. Maybe like, okay, you don't want a $50, that's fine. We have this other thing that's like $15, just, is this guide, whatever, get it for $15, just click here or whatever. So it definitely gives you...
Yeah, personally, I've been in that kind of situation.
Yeah, so it definitely gives you more room to play around with your products and sell more things at the end of the day. It gives you more options, and it's more organized, it's more centered. And so I personally like funnels a lot. Even when I'm like gonna go and buy something, I like it when somebody has a funnel because it's kind of exciting, you know. Like,
You
and
are the
also,
biggest fan of your work.
and it makes it like, yeah, it makes it so much easier for me too, you know, because I'm a consumer myself, you know. So like when I see
Right.
that there's only one option, you know, this is it. I'm like, all right, I don't have to be browsing around and waste time and be like, oh, I have this. It's when like when I go for when I go to the Apple website, I love Apple, but when I go in there, like I start getting a little bit anxious, man. It's like there's this iPhone here, and there's other iPhone, there's like this model, there's the 8, there's the 10, there's the 11. I'm like, Jesus, there's so many, you know, like, and at the end, I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep my phone, you know, and it's just like,
Oh, shit.
and like,
Too confusing.
yeah,
Right. So we come to the last questions, which is the reason why I asked this question is because the podcast is called Develop Your Mindset. So
Yeah.
now that's the reason I'm going to ask you this question. The last one is, and lastly, what kind of mindset do you need to develop to start learning and using this kind of technology?
Well, definitely there's the aspect of psychology, like you said earlier. You definitely gotta love psychology. Like I love psychology. I think it's pretty amazing just how the mind works and, you know, how people think and, you know, just stuff around those lines, you know. So those things are like pretty exciting. But then there's things like the technical side as well. So you gotta definitely love technology, I would say, in order for you to, you know, like that stuff, because there is a lot of technical aspects to it. So there's the technical aspect, there's the psychology, and then the third one I would say is design. You definitely gotta love design because there's a lot of designing involved when you're creating funnels, and definitely planning too. You gotta have patience with the planning of the funnel because there's a lot of planning that's gonna go behind the scenes as well. And so you gotta be patient and you gotta be willing to, you know, put in that time to plan everything out so that it comes out well at the end. So definitely, I think that's really what it takes, you know, is to the type of mindset that you need to have, you know, before you even get into funnel building. And of course, an open mind and just willing to have fun, you know, with everything. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Sometimes people have a lot of what is the word, like they want to develop this better lifestyle or whatever they talk about, right? And then if you want to do that, then you have to put the work in, right? So this is one aspect of your business where you can actually do yourself and then bring more sales in, and then you can put your product more out there and like create something like amazing that you can take that and then develop your better life, be better, whatever you're after. So definitely that kind of mindset will definitely put you into you know, learning about this, you know, and then utilizing this technology, definitely. And if you're serious about it. You know?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I think we're done with the questions today, and this was amazing. Again, you know, there's so much to talk about social media marketing and building funnels and websites and all kinds of. There will be another one next week. I have so much more to ask about, you know, how you know, like to learn and to like get into this kind of mindset and like to start using these products and softwares and, you know, your failures and wins, amazing stuff to ask still. But definitely, I would say this week that this one funnel that we built, we're gonna put the link down below where people can go click and see how it's built, you know, how you actually design. We will definitely leave the link down below for you guys to go and look at the funnel, how it's built. If you have any questions, please leave comments down below. Louis will be available to ask all kinds of, you know, questions that you guys are going to have for it. Yeah. with this. Thank you, Luis, again. This was amazing. And Develop Your Mindset podcast is growing. Very soon. Hopefully, we'll be at the company, and we can bring in a bunch of guests. And for now, we're doing really good job by putting all this content out. And with Instagram tool that we have, and for sure. And please, you can finish the closing.
Yeah, so it was definitely fun to talk about funnels. Like I said, I really love them, and I love the aspect of them and how they're built. And yeah, man, it was great to be able to share what I know about funnels. And hopefully, after this podcast, everybody who's watching, hopefully you guys can all start, building your own funnels and start having fun with that. And it just comes down to practice. You do it over and over again, man, and eventually you're going to create a really awesome and really cool, well-rounded funnel that's going to produce results for you, whatever results that you're looking for in a funnel. So definitely it was fun. It was exciting. And like I said, we're going to be putting the link to some of our funnels down below, like you said. And it's going to be exciting, man. And
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to be able to be here again on Saturday.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Watched it, and you're gonna watch. We will be uploading this to the website and actually to YouTube, right? And you guys can go and watch that from there.
Yeah. So.
All right. Thank you very much.